When it comes to crypto, new powerhouse coins pop up every single cycle. You'll see new blockchains come across, like Solana or Avalanche back in 2021. Now, this cycle, you're seeing new dominance from stuff like Hyperliquid and Bittensor Tau. So, there is always new tokens that pop up, and it begs the question, what are going to be the top 10 or top 25 cryptos by the time that we finish out this 4 year cycle? So, in this video, we're going to go through the top 25 and see which coins will rise in the top 25, which will actually take some falls based on real data, and also just try to figure out, will the top 10 look a little bit different by the end of this year and the end of 2030? So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. As always, guys, be sure to drop down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more every single day here on In the Game. We have you covered top to bottom, Monday through Friday, everything you need to win in the crypto markets. So smash that like button and subscribe down below. And a big shout out to all of our sponsors here on In the Game. We have some incredible sponsors. We are still running a $120,000 trading competition. Down below in the description, you can sign up with Blowfin. You can trade from anywhere, even in the United States. No KYC, no problems. You can sign up to Blowfin and compete for your share of $120,000. Let's go ahead and dive right into it, guys. And right now we are seeing a little bit of a shift, right? We are in a bear market. Some coins, we're seeing the on-chain data, and some of those coins are falling off a little bit. We're actually starting to see new coins start taking the jump. Lapping some of these old cycle projects. So it does, make you curious on a case study perspective. And you're going to want to do this for your altcoin portfolio regardless, is which one of these altcoins are going to start taking falls down the ladder, maybe from the 10s to the 20s, or which ones are going to come in from this mid 20 section and actually potentially be a top 10 cryptocurrency by the time that this year ends, or by the time that 2030 comes around. We always see a reshuffling. Stellar Lumens used to be one of the top coins. It's still number 17. That's not definitely not a knock on Stellar Lumens, but I remember in 2017 time period, Stellar was one of the best altcoins overall. We had Litecoin, we had Dash at that time. And a lot of these coins, like Dash, for example, completely irrelevant at this point in time. And you're going to continue to see this over and over again, where some of these really high quality projects from 2021 are now going to start taking the fall down the ladder of market cap in favor of some of these new protocols that really have the market share. So let's go through an exercise today. We're going to utilize AI. We're going to utilize on-chain data. Which coins are going to take falls and which are going to take leaps up the ladder and maybe be a top 10 coin. And this is going to be good for you to figure out which coins you want to invest in moving forward. So, just from my perspective, we are in a bear market, but still the crypto thesis is more than alive. We're seeing SEC Chair Paul Atkins saying that all US markets will be on chain within 2 years. We also see Coinbase offering crypto-backed mortgages. I mean, this is, as much as we like to say that, crypto can't get you anything, and people that sit outside the crypto industry, oh, you can't do anything with your Bitcoins. Well, you can definitely do stuff with your Bitcoins now. Crypto-backed mortgages have arrived. And really, the video that we're doing today is based off of this. I thought that this was a really interesting comment here on this podcast. We could see here Alex Cutler saying, and he's the co-founder of Aerodrome, by the way. So he's not some random person, talking head, just kind of spewing. You can actually go through here and see he thinks we're going to see a massive reshuffling in the top 100 coins, and why the digital asset market cap rankings are about to be dismantled. I don't completely disagree. I think that we are overdue for this, because when we look at some of the use cases of some of these projects, and whenever I pull up this data, this is just raw material data. Okay. I'm not trying to poke fun. I'm not trying to, do anything. And honestly, the first one I'm going to point out is something that I used to like. I used to think was, they were doing a lot of good things, but when you dig into it, the network activity has just done nothing but fall off. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to take a look at coins like Hyperliquid. This one's obvious. I mean, Hyperliquid's obvious, like currently number 10. I think that this one's safe to say will be a top 10 cryptocurrency in the future. 2030 even. I could see Hyperliquid unless there is a complete regulatory shutdown or blitz on perps in the United States or whatever the case is. I don't see a way that Hyperliquid isn't a top coin. But when you look at Hyperliquid's metrics, just as something that I think is going to stick around, you can see the amount of fees that this product is making. Over the total year, $848 million annualized in fees. It's just a crazy amount of profit coming through this business. And the growth numbers, I mean, you see, it is literally nothing but an up only chart. And even during this time period, where we're still in a bear market, we are seeing a curve up to the upside. Whereas you can go look at hyped chains from 2021, like Avalanche. Like I said, I used to really like AVAX when gaming was alive and all of this stuff. Over the 24 hours, they have done $4,000 in fees. Like, that is a big fall from these areas, right? And we haven't seen on-chain activity really flourish on Avalanche since 2022. And even so, this last fall, whenever Black Hole came out, that was probably this big jump here. So like Avalanche, for example, is an example of one that I think could fall down the ratings. Same thing with Sui. As hyped as Sui is, and also a coin that I used to really like. You dig into the numbers a little bit and you see, wow, $5,000 in fees over the 24 hours. That means over 30 days, this protocol is making $150,000. I know they have staff to pay. I know all of this, going on in the back end. It just really is hard for a low usage chain like this. And you're seeing the data could just completely take a cliff dive after their outage situation last fall. So these are examples of coins and different metrics you can come in and actually see like, wow, these things are completely dying out. You can also see Monad, hyped VC coin. People thought this was going to be, generational. They've actually done 6,000 in fees in the last 24 hours. So very good for them. But recently, this has been the butt of a lot of jokes, right? So you're going to want to look at the data and figure out which coins are actually going to stick around. And let's swap over to AI and let's start putting together what the future of the top 10 or top 25 cryptos could actually look like. With all of these metrics in mind, let's use AI, let's get a framework, and let's make some predictions for what will be the top tokens. In this exercise, we're going to use Claude. I think that Claude's by far the best AI. If you don't believe me, just go online. You can probably find out that most people are using Claude currently. So I have prompted Claude. What do you think the top 10 tokens in crypto will be by market cap in 2030? So they say this is a fun one to think through. It's hard to see 4 years out. The landscape can shift dramatically. And we know this with crypto. Terra Luna got up to like the number 5 or 4 ranked cryptocurrency by size in the world by 2021, 2022. It is now irrelevant, complete rug pull, one of the biggest scams in all of crypto, right? So we know that this can happen. So you have to take this with a grain of salt. But I actually think the projects we're going to be plugging into some of these, I think it makes complete sense why they're going to take this ascension over the course of time. Based on current trajectories and structural trends, here's my educated take. So they say the top 10 by market cap in 2030. Number 1, Bitcoin. Near certain. I mean, I think it's a certainty. No doubt about it. Bitcoin will be the number 1 crypto in 2030. I don't see a reason it won't. And quite frankly, by 2030, Bitcoin might be trading closer to that $500,000 level rather than where it is today at that $70,000 level. Ethereum, as much as I could care less to hold ETH in 2026, it's probably true that Ethereum will still be the number 2 token in crypto. It's going to be really hard to knock that off. And all of these spin-off blockchains are basically derivatives or utilizing Ethereum's tech. So look, the top 2, they're not changing. We have Tether listed, and I'm going to exclude stablecoins here in just a moment. I do believe, Tether USDC will absolutely maintain their position in that top 5. And then Solana, they have at number 5, saying investment firm VanEck thinks that Solana will become the first blockchain to have a mobile app with over 100 million users and put a $3,211 price point for 2030. That's absolutely bonkers. If Sol hit $3,000, number 1, I don't think that's happening. Like, just realistically speaking, that is a 30 plus X from here at the current market cap level. They're saying the market cap would be over 1.5 trillion. Look, even I like Solana, but that's a crazy prediction. I do still believe, regardless, that Solana will be in the top 10 by 2030. XRP, I agree. XRP is not going anywhere. The community, the amount of money coming through, the adoption that we've seen, they've done a great job in solidifying themselves as a top crypto. Standard Charter saying that it could hit $28 by 2030. That's another huge leap. Like we're looking at like a 10x on the price there at the market cap. That's going to be really hard to achieve. But look, regardless, I think it will be in that top 10. BNB, this is BNB definitely, if we exclude stablecoins, will be a top 10 altcoin in crypto or just crypto, aside from stablecoins. BNB, I guess when you're tying it to Binance, we cannot say that this is not going to be a top 10 token. This is where it starts to get interesting, though. We see an RWA token. So tokenizing real world assets like office buildings or gold bars is seen as a $16 trillion prize that could finally weld traditional finance to crypto. Tokens like Ondo or similar could rocket into the top 10. And I would actually flip this around. At number 10, AI thinks that a wildcard AI plus crypto project. So, I'm not going to say that this is going to become the 8th biggest coin in the world, but for me, the coin that fits the bill for this would absolutely be the one that we've been talking about recently on this channel. And that would be none other than Bittensor Tau. We look at Tau from a perspective of its identical tokenomics to Bitcoin, but it's kind of like the on-chain version of Y Combinator, except they're not investing dollars, they're investing Tau tokens in the form of mined emissions. Like the scheme / product market fit for AI startups to come in, build on Bittensor, and compete for a share of the network is brilliant. You can see here the $3 billion valuation. And look, when we see the top 25 right now, it's sitting at 25. Bittensor has officially flipped Zcash and Sui. And I think soon probably could take a lap on Hedera, AVAX, Litecoin, USD1. Like these are easy flips. Up to $6 billion, you would put this at number 15 at that point in time. I think it's very easy for an AI token, given how AI driven this world is, to bust into the top 10 over the course of the next 4 years. And like I said, the fit with Bittensor is amazing. It's deflationary. Every 4 years, there's a halving. The consensus mechanism is YC. There's utility, staking, subnets, etc. 128 plus startups / subnets are what they are called, building on top of Bittensor Tau. AI outputs, GPU compute, first ever decentralized protocol to train a 72 billion parameter model, which is the Templar subnet. So for me, you can look at other ones. Like, of course, whenever Claude's saying, look at AI, people like Render as well. And I do too. And it could be a good multiples play, like especially during a full-blown AI bull run. Right now, it has been a Tau bull run recently. But if AI catches a bid, Render could shoot up the charts as well. But I do think the king of decentralized AI is absolutely Bittensor Tau. And if we're just going to be looking at it realistically, it has a clear path to just lap some of these coins. Whenever it comes to, like I said, Hedera, AVAX, Litecoin, USD1, I think it could easily pass Canton, DAI, Stellar. I don't see why it can't hit that $6 billion FDV, which is only a 1.5x from here. That would already put it in the top 15. And then it would only take about another 1.5x, a 50% gain from there, to shoot up to number 11, right behind Hyperliquid. So this is definitely something to keep your eye on. I think the best shot of any coin to get up to that top 10 from an AI's perspective is absolutely Bittensor Tau. Now, going back to the case study with Claude, let's just move back over to Claude, pull it up here, and we can see the real world asset one. Look, I like it. I think that you can make an argument that an RWA coin will be up there. But for me, I think all the tokenized stuff is going to be so Institutional. I think that you're going to start to see the tokenized stuff over the next few years. As the SEC chair says, everything's going to be tokenized. I think that the RWA sector could be dominated by institutions, whether it's a BlackRock RWA or Chase Citibank coming out with their own form of tokenized something. I don't know that it's going to be a crypto project. And instead of an RWA token, number 9 says a wildcard plus AI crypto project. Instead of an RWA token, I think there has to be a crypto native trading platform. For me, I would replace the RWA with Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid is by far the biggest product launch in maybe native crypto. I mean, of course, Ethereum, Vitalik did a great job. There's a ton of great innovations. But over the last 2 years, Hyperliquid's probably the most fluid business practice, business model innovation in crypto, from the fact of how successful it is, how much fees they're raking in, the buyback mechanism. They put 90% of their profit back into the Hyperliquid token. And look, Hype's already at number 10. I don't really see how, I think it's going to just grow from here. I don't see how it's going to take a tumble from here in favor of coins like a Cardano or a Chainlink or Monero, etc. So I would actually replace the AI in this list with probably Hyperliquid. It's already top 10. I don't see how this doesn't continue to climb the ranks rather than descend. It has Chainlink at number 9. I see the logic behind it. But Chainlink, we can just go back here. Let's pull up the Chainlink chart. It's not really motivating when I see what's going on with Chainlink. I think Chainlink bag holders, that's been a tough one. It's kind of like holding Cardano long term. Like, it's been a rough experience, and not a lot is actually built on top of Cardano. You can't say the same for Chainlink. Chainlink, there is a ton of stuff built on it, but I mean, to get back up to $48, it needs to do a 6x, which would put this coin at $36 billion market cap. I mean, it's going to take a big bull run, big alt season for that to ever happen again. And I don't know. I don't think that Chainlink lands in that top 10. So when we go back and look at the cryptos that could be in favor, I think that more likely you're going to see something like maybe H-bar move up that ladder. Maybe you see one of these like DeFi protocols that springs up, start to shoot up the ladder. But for me, like, I would be more in favor of seeing something like an H-bar potentially in that top 10. And that could actually fit the RWA mold. But I don't know that Chainlink is a top 10 token by market cap by that point in time. And I think people are sleeping on Tron because of the fact that Tron's already at 30 bill, and Justin Sun is going to do everything he can to keep this in the top 10. So that's going to be tough to knock off. But what we're going to do is also say, eliminate stable coins. What would you say are the top 10 coins in 2030? So let's take out stables, because if we looked at the top 10 that they gave us, it's USDC and Tether. So we're going to take that out. It gives us 2 more spots to play with. And I'm going to use Tron for one of those spots. I think that Tron will be there. It's huge in stable coins. So that's the thing. Stables are here to stay on Tron. It's a very fast operating network. As much as I don't use Tron, there's a subsector of people out there that utilize it. So we can't really eliminate it. They said omissions would be Cardano, Dogecoin, and Polkadot. Polkadot, there's no chance. I will delete my YouTube channel if Polkadot is a top 10 coin in 2030. So let's just get that out there. Cardano it has potential to still be there. It's just lost so much momentum. I wouldn't be surprised though. So now that I've eliminated stables, they're saying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, BNB, Chainlink, Avalanche at number 7. I'm going to go against that. I'm going to have to say, I agree with the top 5. Number 6, I'd probably say Hyperliquid. Number 7, Tron. Number 8, I don't know. I don't know if Ondo is going to fit that mold. I don't know about that. I would say Tau, an AI slash crypto token. They're saying Bittensor Tau here at that number 9 spot. And they're saying Sui or Aptos at number 10 with Polkadot, Cosmos, and Litecoin as wow. They really took a fall off the deep end there with this second list. But I agree with the top 5. I'd probably have to say Hyperliquid 6. Let's just say Tau in the top 10. I could see something like an Ondo making its way up there completely, just given how deeply rooted it is in RWA. I could also see an H bar move up to this, just given their momentum and how relentless that project is. And honestly, I think Cardano has a better chance to be here than something like Suri or Aptos, just from the fact that Cardano is basically like XRP with their community. So I would say that for me. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, BNB, Hyperliquid, Tau, let's just say Ondo, HBAR, and then Cardano. I wouldn't be surprised to see that as the top 10. And Tron. I think that Tron's going to stay there. So it is interesting to have to decipher. But I think from an upside perspective, it's pretty easy where you should be putting your money if you're looking into something like this. Just trying to predict where coins are going to go. I would be very bearish on tokens doing low revenue and seeing their transaction volume die. Like Tron, that's not the case. So I think Tron will firmly be a top 10 coin by the time that 2030 hits. For me, I think the most upside you could find here is going long Hyperliquid long term. So buying Hype, buying Bittens or Tau. And I would probably be bearish on stuff like AVAX. I'd probably be bearish on stuff like honestly like Shiba Inu or some of these coins I think that are just going to fade away over the course of time. Like Shiba, yeah, it's still the second biggest meme coin by market cap, but Shiba Inu as a meme coin is not really a thing these days. Like I don't see a community for it. There's still a Dogecoin community out there. So for me, I think Doge has a better chance to still be a top 10 coin rather than something like Avalanche or, like they said, Chainlink or Polkadot. God forbid Polkadot comes back from the dead at 37 and is a top 10 coin. That would be a little bit crazy for me. But I think the two clearest upside plays here by far are Hyperliquid and Tau. To emerge, Tau takes that slot in the AI top 10. And then I think Hyperliquid can probably grow to around where Tron or Solana is easily over the course of the next few years. So a little bit of an erratic practice to have to try to piece together, okay, this coin could fall off, this one's going to ascend. But it is an interesting practice when you're seeing the protocol growth right now. You can take advantage of doing these types of projections and figuring out which coins you might want to de-risk from that could stay put or are going to have a harder time doing multiples. Something like BNB or Ethereum is going to be way harder for those to 2 or 5x, but it's not going to be that hard to see a 2 to 5x from Hyperliquid or even from here. It's still a 2x plus to get to Bittens or Tau's all-time highs. Like, you have so much more upside banking on coins you think are going to go up that ladder. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a completely different top 25, top 10, etc., just like we saw in that podcast clip. So guys, that is today's video. Just kind of a brain thought process on what crypto could look like in 2030, right? We could see an RWA coin in that top 10, but to me, it's going to be harder because I think institutions are going to rule the sector of RWA. That's just my opinion, given how much they're pushing tokenization of everything. Otherwise, I think the decentralized protocols that are the hot use case pieces of the industry right now will take a jump up that ladder, like Hyperliquid and like Tau. So guys, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel for more, and I will see you guys on tomorrow's video to close out the week. As always, trade responsibly, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.